Hello guys, myself Naurasa, and today in this tutorial we are going to use BootstrapVue framework to send a data from a client to server and then store that data to our MySQL database. Here you can see I have created index.php file and write some basic HTML format. Here we want to use BootstrapVue, so go to the BootstrapVue website. Getting started, browser, then copy all of this. Then paste inside head tag. Now we also need Axios to send client data to server. So for that, go to the link, copy this, and paste it here. Now if you are familiar with a Vue framework, we need to create a div with a unique ID, and inside that div we write our HTML coding. So write div ID equal to app, then create app.js file, then write var view equal to new view el, and here we mention the element which we want to control, and in our case we want to control this, so hash for ID and the name app. After that, data. For a testing purpose you can write your name, then we can simply use this name inside div, double curly bracket, and also don't forget to include app.js file. And here you can see my name, and in your case you can see your name. Okay, after this test we can write our actual coding. Bootstrap container class margin top 5, bootstrap form at submit equal to onSubmit, and this onSubmit is a name of function which I haven't created yet, but will trigger every time when we click the submit button. After that, b row margin y 1, bootstrap column cols 1, label for type text. Now let's create some variable to store users data input. So write enter data, then inside enter data we have plain text. After that, password, email, at last date. Then also create method, methods, and inside that method write onSubmit, Now for the notification message, write view dot note msg info, and info describe the color of message, then the content of message all good. Then we also need to create this note msg function. So write note msg, and here you can see it take two parameter. First one is color and content. Now return back to index.php and write and here I write enter data dot plain text because we need plain text and plain text is inside enter data. In the similar way, write refresh the page and try to enter some data. And here you can see it give notification message after we submit. Now to store this data, here I've created a database table called BootstrapVue inside a database called U2. But if you don't know how to create a database table, then you can find the link of that video on the top right corner of this video. And inside this table, we have 5 columns. First start with ID, data type big int, we set it primary key and auto increment. After that we have plain text, data type variable character and length 50, then password, length 50, email, also length 50, at last date, and the type is date. After all of this, time to create an API. So create a new file called api.php. Then to make a database connection, write con equal to new MySQL, then the name of host localhost, after that database username, that is root, after that database password, by default it is empty, at last database name, in my case that is YouTube. Then we check if there is an error during this connection. Then we display this error message and exit from the program. If not, we continue our coding. Response. In a response, we can store error details and some message. After this, write insert query. Insert into the name of table BootstrapVue, then the name of column plain text, password, email and date. Then values, and here we pass the values. For example, for a plain text, we can write plain text, and in the similar way for password, we can write password. Then if this query runs successfully, we store our success message. Respond message equal to new record inserted successfully. Else we store error message. After that, we close our database connection. Then we return this response array. Now I'm gonna use Postman software to send our data into this API and see is it working or not. So first I need a link api.php, then the method we are using post, then send it. And here we got some response, error equal to false and message equal to new record inserted successfully. Now let's check the database. And here you can see this is my recently inserted data. Now let's write some additional coding on app.js so that we can also insert data using our form. For that we have to make another method called toFormData. Now go inside onSubmit method and write here we are using post, so dot post, then the location where we want to send this data. In our case, that is api.php. After that, our data, that is form data. Then if it able to send, then we write then respond then we check, is this response contain error? If yes, we give error notification. Else we give success notification. If we are unable to send that data, then we can catch that error by using .catch. Now save this and try to send some data. Here we got success message. And here I am able to send and store my data. And I hope you too also. If you learned something from this video, then please like and share this video to your friend. And also subscribe to my channel to see more video like this.